because it's the foreshadowing, you can see both parts. Now I move on to the behind, and he has a plate right there. And then the leg, the inside part, the inner part of the leg, which is sort of like a small stick with just armor on it. As you can see, it's got a bunch of little sections, but really just armor layered on it. And so your drawing should look something like this so far. And now we're doing the 3D effects here, making it look layered, or not layered, but thick. And then on the Bumblebee model, it had these parts were black. As you can see, I just made a mistake there, so I erased it. That's why I need your eraser. Move on to the back leg now. And again, it's just basically sticks put together in a few circles to make a joint. And now the knee part. There we have the leg so far. Now we're moving back to the calf here. The thing about drawing is you can move wherever you want on the page when you have your basic figure. And I couldn't get this on camera because it was too hard to film and draw at the same time, so I just did a few sections and then recorded it so you could see. The calf area is pretty thick, and then at the front it has a thick kneecap and layered armor on the front, and the kneecaps are like a giant horn sticking out. And that's the inside the knee. And this part is the bottom of the calf. You have like basically wires and pieces, circuits and stuff sticking out, so you draw those individual parts. And this part, it has an indent in between, and because of the light, it'll be darker than the surface, so you can just make a line inside it. And you can see when drawing this, you're putting just basically a bunch of layers, which makes the armor look thick. And now we're drawing the wheel part of the foot, which this part is the metal part. And it's basically like it has the holes between the nuts and bolts and the outside. And there we have the toe, which we will be working on, the hind toe, and the back of the foot, which is like a shoe you'd have a bit sticking out from the ankle. And we move on, finishing the wheel. Then I went back to finish the toe, and then we have another joint part there for a flexible foot, and we have the outer casing, and then we'll have a little bit of the foot sticking out there. And I have to say, actually, Bumblebee's feet look pretty cool. And then he also has a bit of metal sticking out on the top of it, and it's connected a bit to the top. And there you have it. Now we're working back on the foot. This part was again hard to film, so I did a few sections and then taped it to show you what it would look like. And we're finishing the two hinged parts there. Well, actually, joint parts. I'm coloring it in a bit. And we have the two hind toes. Now both of these will be sticking out because the front foot was to the side and this foot is actually facing backwards, but not completely. You can see the plate. And then we finished the wheel part here, which will be looking just like that one. So you could just copy that one. And you see the black bit between the two toes, that would be the rest of the tire from the wheel. It's good to have details like that. And since this is showing from angle, not exactly to the side, you won't see the foot as long as that one, because they're foreshadowing. And now to finish the hand behind him, because it's not near small enough to not be shown at all. And it's sort of dangling to the side. Now we're going to draw the rubble and rocks beneath him. Now there's quite a bit of trouble drawing rocks and rubble. You have to really put in a lot of little bumps to make it look like rubble and shade it in. That helps too. And to show where the feet end and the rubble starts, we're going to shade in the rubble a bit darker than the Autobot. As here we have the base drawing for the almost complete now. Now we're going to do a little bit more detail. As you can see, when doing a bit of coloring in and making it a bit jagged and not just shading in but putting boundaries between them. And here we have now we're just going to shade the entire thing in, and there you'll see the rubble shaded. Now we're going to do the shadow parts, so just coloring that from the shadow of the leg, which will be shown onto that leg, which will make that dark in the middle. And we'll basically make the bottom parts of objects, parts of the bottom parts of the pieces of the robot darker and the tip lighter. But then it really depends on what kind of light source you want to have. If you want to have one from 3 different ways, then it would be a lot different. But this is really supposed to be just from a light source from the top, sort of facing down on the Autobot. I'm just shading underneath the parts where the light source wouldn't really be showing that much, like under there, because it's below. And then the hand, because it's behind, you don't want to shade that in. We move on, just a bit of shading around there on the rib cage, because it's underneath the arm, and the bottom tips of the arm and the elbow. And now the gun is going to be gray, so you're going to want to do the shading first and then go over the entire gun again with just the side of your pencil or just colored in. That'll make it dark, and then just get in the gray bits here and there, and wherever it's like pieces that are below, like other objects, you want to make sure to get those shaded in. And there you have it. Your drawing should look something like this by the end. Well, I hope you have a good time trying.